I used to be paid, and this is Drake and Future. I mean, wait, Drake and Future beef is being overlooked. Bro, it's been a while. I like I said, I like checking out this brother, his perspective. You know, I like what he's saying too. But the other one he did something about J. Cole. Cause I didn't want to check out the other one because man, too many people talking about a whole lot of J. Cole's and stuff, man. Like, bro, people don't understand, bro. But let hear his. I want to hear what he got to say, his perspective, bro. Cause I like what he be saying too, man. I like this young brother what he be talking about.
Good YouTube, it's Justice I Used to Be Paid, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the kind of overlooked beef between
I didn't really knew they two were beefing though. I thought they were cool with one another.
Drake and Future. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. With all that's going on in the rap world right now, especially when it comes to beef, people have been kind of overlooking this conflict between these two because everyone's been focused on Cole and Kendrick and
yeah, man. People need to lead, bro. People need to lead Cole alone, bro. Lead us J. Cole fan. They ain't like a J. Cole fan, bro. Like, bro, just leave us alone, bro. Leave us J. Cole fan alone, bro. Like, yo, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan too, man. But I'm more of a J. Cole fan. But just you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, I had to stay off social media that day, right there, boy. That hurt me right there.
Drake and what's going on there, and recently with Cole's apology, like everything in the rap.
The apology, man. See, I try not even think about that, cause like I said, he did the right thing. But people, like I said, yo, let's focus on this Drake and Future beef. Good God, man! Every time I go on social media, man, a J. Cole fan, like I said, J. Cole fan, we understand it, bro. So that's why I be like, every time I see someone talking about it, bro, like, man, whatever.
World over the last couple of weeks has really just been surrounding this beef between the big three, and it makes sense, and especially right now when it's really just kind of Kendrick and Drake as Cole has backed out of the beef.
I'm saying that, I'm saying that's a good thing now. And now people trying to say, oh, J. Cole ain't my top three. Nigga. You don't gotta be your top three no more. Hell, nigga, shut up. I don't want to rant, no. I don't want to rant, man. But people saying like J. Cole now ain't my top three. Nigga, shut up, nigga. I'm like, bro, okay, I'm done. K-Dot still my top three, but y'all nigga don't want J. Cole to be your top three no more because of that apology, man. Y'all nigga, whatever, nigga, shut up.
These are two of the best rappers, two of the most marquee rappers of the last 15 years. So of course everyone wants to talk about Drake and Kendrick and who's gonna win and is Drake ever gonna respond? Like
I do feel like Kendrick probably gonna win against this whole Drake. I feel like it really supposed to be Drake and Kendrick, but I do feel like Kendrick probably win this though.
This is obviously the more marquee beef matchup of the beefs that are going on right now, but I think
I do rock with Drake too now.
Drake and Future might be a beef that's a little bit more interesting and honestly might end up being something that kind of takes precedent down the line because these two have been seen as friends in the industry for a long time now.
Yeah, I feel like they friends.
Of course, we don't really know what happens once they leave the studio, once they get off, stage when they're on tour and stuff, but we've all seen Drake and Future as friends over the last 7-8 years, and of course there's been stuff between them, but this beef is probably going to end up a little bit more personal than any other beef here. I mean, of course I think Drake and Kendrick's gonna get personal very quickly, but this is definitely a lot more personal than any other beef going on right now because these two were friends, and this potential conflict between the two really became more so known in the public eye with this newest album, We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. The collab album, really on the first song, there were some lines there that people attributed to Drake that were sung or rapped or whatever you want to say by Future. And they basically said this: "You a dude number one fan, dog, sneak dissing, I don't understand, dog, pillow talking, acting like a fed, dog, I don't need another fake friend, dog. Can't be about a hoe cause we sharing, dog, and your feelings, dude, while you playing, dog." Now, there's no name on this, so this really could be about anybody, but
I'm saying it could be about anybody, so, them subliminals can be thrown at anyone.
have been hearing rumors that they're not really seeing eye to eye, and it has something to do with a woman. And, apparently Drake's been pillow talking or messing with people's women. That's part of the reason, allegedly, why he's beefing with Metro Boomin. So we don't even know for sure, but that's why people have attributed this verse to talking about Drake. But also, even outside of that verse, it's very.
I gotta represent Drake. I mean, I gotta represent Future, bro, because you know he's straight GA. Hey, yo, man, we straight from GA though, bro. Georgia boys.
Clear that Future has taken a solid anti-Drake stance, okay? Even outside of that verse and trying to attribute any other little shots in the album to him talking about Drake, he's taken an anti-Drake stance. Now, I wouldn't say that it's just because he made
I meant Future. Did I say Future? I meant Future. Got to represent Future because he's from straight GA.
collab album with Metro Boomin, even though that does kind of slightly play a factor. Like, Metro Boomin has been Drake's top op up until this song with Kendrick came out. He's been his top op for the last couple of months now. We all know about the issues between Metro and Drake. And so obviously when Future makes an album with Metro, it looks a little iffy, but then again, they have an entire relationship outside of Drake. And if they just make a collab album and it has nothing to do with directly dissing Drake, then, you can't say that, oh, he's trying to get at Drake by making an album with Metro. No, that's his boy. They can make music together. That's not where the solidly anti-Drake stance come from. But where it really becomes stamped okay, there's clearly an issue here, is the song Like That. Because Kendrick gets on the song and disses your boy or your former boy, or, I don't know what their relationship is, but he's on the song dissing somebody who you were close to. And most people, when they're friends with somebody, they're not going to let that happen. You're not going to.
Yeah. But I think, I don't want to
overthink my song on my album and diss one of my friends, and I'm not co-signing it. That's kind of co-signing it. It is, especially when it's the number one song in America. You can't do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense unless you are beefing with the person that he's actually going against on the song too. You can't let somebody go with someone on a song and not expect that person to feel.
You can't play and you definitely can't play But I be thinking sometimes rappers be doing they be in the studio, but then they want this other person to do the feature, but he probably ain't made it in on that day, so he had to come in another day, or just do it somewhere else from a mile away. Say this artist in goddamn New York, and he already did his, and now he want this rapper from Georgia, all the way down here. He gotta do something like that, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It's too much for me. I'm overthinking things again.
A certain way about you as well. So I think it's very clear that Drake and Future have something going on there, because otherwise I doubt that Future would have let Kendrick do that on his album, especially his, one of his biggest albums to date. And it does seem a little strange, why would Future let Kendrick, diss his friend? But we don't really know what happened in the backstage side of things. We don't know what's going on behind the curtain. But I will say this, even though Future and Drake have been friends for a long time, or have seemed to be friends and have been frequent collaborators over the last decade, there have been little things between them over the years. So this isn't really their first conflict. There's been stuff happening for a while now between Drake and Future that maybe aren't big major beef stories, oh my gosh, they're going back and forth. But there's been some things where it's okay, there's clearly some cracks in this relationship. Drake and Future are one of the best rap pairings of the last decade, but it hasn't always been rainbow and sunshine between the two. Okay, there's been little stuff happening, not major crazy things, but just little stuff happening over the years that may have ended up adding up and causing, this whatever recently just happened to be the straw that broke the camel's back potentially. Okay, so back in 2011, I believe, one of Future's first biggest songs was Tony Montana. It was a huge song for Future, one of the songs that really put him in the eye of everyone around the world, not just, Atlanta, but still in Atlanta, but everyone kind of in the United States as a whole. And Drake got on the remix to that song, but Drake ended up not showing up for the music video for Tony Montana. So Future actually went on to do an interview about it, and he was asked about Drake not being in the music video, and he said that it was kind of like a slap in the face to him. He felt like, there were a lot of people who really wanted to be on the song, especially people from his home city of Atlanta, and that they would.
Hey, like I said, I gotta represent Future, man. Hey, he from straight GA, man. I'm a Georgia boy, so I gotta represent Future, bro. He from Georgia, bro.
Have been there for the music video, and it really would have meant a lot to them. So he kind of felt like it was a slap in the face. But, they eventually moved on from that, and they were cool and whatever. And in 2013, Drake was supposed to be going on tour with a couple of people. Future was one of those people. And there was a quote that came out from a magazine where Future was basically talking about Drake's album that year, which was Nothing Was the Same. And he said that it was an album full of hits, but it wasn't an album that really grasped you like Future's albums. And I believe the album was Honest that he was comparing to Nothing Was the Same. And there was a falling out because of that. Drake was very upset because of this quote. And there was a thing where apparently Drake wanted it. These are all alleged things. Let me say that, by the way. And also subscribe. But these are all alleged things. So, you know, I don't want to say they're true, but like, come on. But they're alleged. And Drake was very upset with this quote that came out from the interview, and he wanted Future off his tour. He was about to kick Future off the tour, and in response to being kicked off the tour, Future was going to sue him for about $1.5 million. Now, eventually, they worked things out. Future ended up on the tour.
There was in 2013
tour. There was no lawsuit, but there's been little small stuff happening over the years between
just slight little issues though
that have shown like, okay, maybe not everything is, you know, perfect between the two. And then even as recently as like 2022, there were rumors that Future wasn't really happy with Drake making a collab album with 21 Savage, kind of, I guess, because it like ruined some of the like, you know, mystique with the album that they had back in like 2015. So I'm not sure if that's really true, but there's been a lot of rumors of little scuffles between the two over the years. So this isn't just like, oh my gosh, they were perfect best friends. They were two peas in a pod. And somehow like, nah, there's been little small stuff happening. So maybe this is something that's just been brewing all along. And Drake is also one of the most like devious dissers / aggravators in rap. Now, I know that's going to sound weird, like, oh my God, you're glazing, bro. Like, Drake's not that good at dissing people. That's not really what I mean. I mean that he does it in such a way that it's kind of like...
Yeah, like a backstab. I get what you're saying. Me and more like a... Like it's a hard backstab, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It means feel like it's a backstab.
Mental warfare. It's almost like a psychological attack more than it is like a personal attack trying to roast you or anything like that.
Yeah, like got you, little nigga.
You know, we've even heard Kanye talk about it. Like, Drake disses you in a way that only you and him know what's going on. Only you and him would know why what he just did was disrespectful. But you're not going to jump out the window and go off on Drake online because everyone's going to be like, dude, what are you talking about? Because then you're going to have to expose what he just, you know, kind of did to you.
Set it up like war. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, when people went to go get Hitler, they didn't go straight for Hitler. They set up fake tanks. They set up this and this. So he got to do stuff like live 5 blocks down the street from you. DM every... Was that crept through the light switch? Is that yeah. You got to like go and, you know, DM every single girl in your family, every single girl around your family, everybody, all your niggas, girl, He's gotta...
Isn't it crazy how quickly like Kanye just brought up the mustache man in that clip? Isn't that insane? But anyways, really like we have countless examples of Drake doing this. Of course, we have the sicko mode verse where he literally gives directions from his house to Kanye and Kim's house or wherever they were living at the time, talking about creeping down the block and all that stuff. We also got when Drake was about to drop his album CLB Certified Lover Boy, him and his friends took pictures in a Chris Paul jersey. They were all wearing different Chris Paul jerseys. Now, Chris Paul is a legend in basketball. You know, he's a great player, but there's no reason for you and your friends to all wear Chris Paul jerseys at the same time. Now, of course, us being fans, we didn't even, you know, pay any attention to that. We're just like, oh.
I was looking at the number 3. It like 3. What did that mean, though? I don't know. I don't want to overthink things, though.
Okay, I guess Drake and his boys wanted to match. I don't know what that's about, but like, yeah. There's no reason for all 3 of them to have been wearing Chris Paul jerseys. Then eventually Kanye comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, like this is like probably a couple years down the line. He says, oh yeah, by the way, I caught Chris Paul in bed with my wife or something like that, talking about him being with Kim K. So Drake was probably alluding to the fact that, yo, CP3 hit your wife. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Because imagine if back then in 2021, I believe, Drake posts that picture in Chris Paul jerseys and Kanye starts going off, you man, you hoe, you did it. Everyone's gonna look at Kanye like, what are you talking about, bro? Like he's just wearing a Chris Paul jersey. And then he has to embarrass himself by telling that story about CP3 and his wife, which I don't even know if it's true, but like you can tell that Drake plays these little games that are very, very personal, but puts you in a position to where if you react to it,
I believe like the people around him, like he got some like secret people that know some things. They're gonna like yo, this for him. Yo, put this in him, bro. They're gonna hurt him, bro.
You're gonna look crazy. Even as of recently, now I guess Rick Ross has jumped on the Drake hate bandwagon. He unfollowed Drake after Kendrick, you know, dropped that verse, which is crazy because I feel like a lot of people, like, I guess they had issues with Drake, but weren't like, you know, feeling the courage enough to express those issues until Kendrick dropped the verse. Like Kendrick dropped the verse and everyone looked around and they were like,
damn it, guys, coach is right. If we want to win, it's on us.
Yeah, like we don't like Drake. Like I don't know, it was weird. They all started unfollowing. It was really weird. But like
Crazy.
Rick Ross was one of those people who I guess now unfollowed Drake and has an issue with him. And Drake just recently had a show in like Florida somewhere or something like that, and he ended up getting tickets sent to Rick Ross's most current ex. Him and like the girl had like kind of a public falling out. So what does Drake do? Drake gets personalized tickets sent to her so she can go to his concert and she's on her story having a great time. Like these are the type of things that Drake does that, you know, they might not end up in a song. It might not be, you know, this crazy diss that everyone's on the internet going, ooh, but it's something that just is really meant to mess with your head.
Yeah, I feel like if that, since he invited her, he know he gonna put that in the album. You know he gonna put that like in a diss. I'm just saying.
And I bring this up to say that like he might have been doing this to Future for a while now, and we just never knew. Which means that it may seem like Future is the first one of the two to kind of like bring this possible, you know, conflict that the two are having to light. Like he may seem like he's the first person to do it, but Drake may have been kind of aggravating Future for a long time, and we just didn't know it. And one of the things that people have been looking at specifically when it comes to like this kind of conversation is the song What Would Pluto Do, right? Because that was a song on Drake's album For All the Dogs. And when you hear a song like What Would Pluto Do, like I thought it was a shout out. Everyone thought it was like a shout out to Future, like, hey, shout out Future. What will Pluto do? You know, he's naming a song about his boy, like, because that's his dog, right? But then at the same time, it's like, why would Pluto not be on the song What Would Pluto Do? Like that's his friend, right? Like that kind of just makes sense. But then when you really look at it, this song could have very well been a diss. Because if you look at the actual like concept surrounding the song or like the idea of the song's about basically sleeping with a girl that was with your friend. And what would Pluto do in this situation? And obviously we've been hearing rumors about pillow talking and sharing the same girl. So that's probably something that could have been actually attributed to Future. The hook of the song is, last time I seen her, she was effing with my dude. So the question is, what would Pluto do? He'd hit that hoe, so I did it. And he repeats that over and over throughout the song. So while this song may have came off as like an endearing way to shout out a friend of yours who like, you know, gets a lot of women and gets with a lot of women, this could have been Drake's way of being petty and trying to shade Future publicly without really shading him and being like, oh, well, what would Future do? I'm gonna do the same. Like, you get what I'm saying? Drake does seem to be a very petty guy, so that's very possible. And this could be another example of Drake doing the thing where he disses people without really wanting the world to know, or without wanting the world to know unless you yourself expose why he's dissing you. But what's really interesting about this beef is how it might possibly play out when it comes to music and disses. Because when we think of disses, more times than not, we're thinking of lyrical, you know, master classes, lyrical destructions of your opponent. And when we just look at the two artists, let's be honest, it's not really close in terms of lyricism. Drake is much better lyrically than Future. And I just want to take a little quick second to say, stop hating on Drake's pen, okay? Stop it. Lyrically, Drake is a very good artist. He's great. He's great lyrically. And Future is not the best lyricist. So again, and he's not even that bad. Like when he tries, he can be good. But like in terms of comparing like their pen from like a more traditional sense, Drake is a lot better. He's a lot better lyricist than Future. And also, Drake is a lot more battle tested than Future is when it comes to like actually making a diss track and actually beefing with people through music. But also at the same time, we can't just completely count out Future because he's not, you know, one of the better lyricists of, you know, recent memory, because that's just the truth. But we can't just count him out because of that, because a major part of beefs and making great diss songs is not only just going at your opponent and having great lyrics and great bars, like that's a huge part, but having people actually listening to your diss and enjoy it as well, because that adds on to the part of them clowning on you, because now everyone is playing the song that's clowning on you and singing lyrics that are clowning on you. And, you know, again, Future's not the greatest lyricist ever, but he is one of the best party song makers, hit song makers, club song makers ever in general. And we've seen a lot of disses go kind of that route of not maybe, let's just say like they're not maybe the best lyrical disses, but they're really big hit songs and they have really memorable lines or really memorable. There's just something memorable about it that makes it a hit song oh my God, my voice just cracked. Outside of just like, oh, they really like destroy them lyrically. We can look at a diss song like Back to Back, which Drake did. Of course, there are good bars in the song, but like that was like a hit song. That's a club song. You can play that in the club today and nobody would bat an eye. Or even another song like Hit 'Em Up. Again, that's a diss song, but that's a banger. That's a club song. That's a party song. You can play that anywhere. And, even outside of the context of listening to it, trying to hear what the other guy is saying about the other guy, you can just play that song to enjoy it. And Future is a hit maker. He's a banger maker. So this could still be a very interesting beef, even on the music side of things in terms of like diss songs. And as we saw with Kendrick's diss, yes, there's great bars in there. Like there's double entendres and all that stuff. Like there's some very intricate bars in his diss. The most memorable part to the majority of the public is the part where he says, "Mother F the big three, it's just big me," and bum. And those two things aren't very complex. They're not anything crazy. Yes, they hit well, but it's not anything crazy. We can all be honest. We can all be honest there. My bad. That was crazy. We can all be honest there. That's not anything super complex, right? And what really made those two parts hard is really especially the delivery, but also the fact that it's catchy as well. But really the delivery is what made that part hard. And those are two things that Future can do really well. He can make something that's extremely catchy, and he can make something that has great delivery as well. He can have great delivery at times. So while, in terms of lyricism, he's not going to pick Drake apart. And in terms of like going back and forth, if I was to say who was going to win a battle, I would say that Drake would probably lyrically pick Future apart. But it's not as one-sided as we may think. We can't just write off.
But people be thinking Drake got ghostwriters. I don't know if I don't really know if that's true or not. But I used to be like that too. I used to think like, wait, social media, but I try not to get too involved with social media, bro, because they be saying things now. He might got ghostwriters. I'm just saying. But who knows?
Future, because he can make a catchy hook. He can make something that has great delivery. He can make something that's memorable in your mind that could be a diss about Drake. This is the same dude that made in a Gucci, like he made something like that memorable. That's not saying he's not saying anything, but he is. Or it sounds like he is. Like, so Future might not be able to lyrically go toe to toe with Drake, which if you're going to tell me Future is, a comparable lyricist to Drake, I'm not listening. I'm sorry. I'm not. But like he can kind of work his way around in what he does best and find a way to diss Drake and make it something that's entertaining and make it something that's competitive. Also, I mean, he could just take the easy route and just, kind of get on a song with Kendrick Lamar again and let Kendrick do the heavy lifting of like the double entendres and the super deep bars and the lyrical analysis of Drake's life and his character. And he can just do the hook. He can just do the hook and clown on Drake because that's what he can do really easily. He can just do the hook, clown on Drake, and let Kendrick really carry the heavy lifting side of things. A major part of diss tracks, historically speaking, is also the kind of like exposing side of things. And also, we just saw it not that long ago with Pusha T's The Story of Adidon when it comes to Drake. But there's always a major like focus and emphasis on exposure in these diss songs. And, whether that's, like a secret somebody has, whether, a secret kid, or maybe it's just how they really are. Maybe the true aspects of their characters behind the scenes, behind the microphone, whatever it is, there's always an aspect of like exposure. And when it comes to beef, like I don't think J. Cole and Kendrick would have took it that far and made it.
Yeah, I feel like J. Cole wouldn't take, because, they friends though, because J. Cole more like, want to be the friend, you know what I'm saying? Like he already said what? Cosign. Why can't it be both? Cosigns. It could be two, not one, bro. Come in peace.
It personal and tried to expose things about each other. But I think Drake and Future would probably be down to do that at this point. I think this beef is probably pretty personal at this point. Maybe not like blood feud. Oh my God, he's trying to kill him. But like, you know what I mean? Like this could be something
friendly competition
that gets kind of nasty. And I could see Drake taking it there, especially because,
he love being petty.
I won't just say Drake. Future could too, but like these are former friends. There's nobody more likely to make a beef personal and, expose stuff than a former friend, especially when that former friend and you have already had issues in the past. Like if there's two former friends and they break up, they're already more likely to expose like stuff about each other than like people who've just always hated each other. But when they're former friends that had issues in the past and then move past those issues to be friends and then now they're not friends anymore, those are the people that are always extremely likely to expose stuff about each other, especially Drake in this situation, because Drake looks at this and, of course they've had their own little beef, I guess for a while now, maybe dating back to even what happened with her loss. But like Drake looks at Future and sees that Future is kind of linking up with people that don't like him. He's linking up with people that don't like him to go at him. So I could see Drake taking that really, really personally because I feel like Drake's the type of guy to do that. And this could get really nasty between the two of them when it comes to like personal attacks. But again, who really knows? I also think it's very possible that Drake drops something this Friday at the same time that Future is supposed to drop his second album with Metro Boomin. But I just wanted to give a little bit more life to this side of the story of things because everyone's been tied up in the J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake thing, and then J. Cole apologizing, which I...
Come on, man. Just come on, man. Just leave him alone, man. Just leave him alone, man. Come on, man. Just leave J. Cole alone, bro. Y'all, we get it, bro. Y'all don't, you know what I'm saying? Just leave J. Cole and the fans alone, please, bro. We just leave us alone.
But like everyone's been kind of tied up in that, but I feel like this is the real personal beef because these two were close at a point. Drake and Kendrick, they haven't been close in years, okay? They were friends a decade ago. They haven't been friends since like 2013, 2012 or something like that. So, of course that beef can get extremely personal, but this might be a little bit different because these two were friends, or at least appeared to be friends in the public eye for a very long time. So I think this beef could end up being a little bit more personal, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. If you enjoyed this video, if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you. Have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. God, bro, it should be Drake versus Future. Yeah, that's all I gotta be, man. Anyway, link up in the description. Don't like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.